Hey, hope you're well. Just giving you a update really on some events that are transpiring. We are in the final stages now, and basically thought it was a good time to share with people what's going on. So both me and Emma set some goals last year in regards to buying a property. We have finally come to a stage whereby this is going to happen, and maybe at the time of publishing this we would have moved into the property. It's not been plain sailing, but it's basically just to give everyone a bit of an insight really into what's worked, what hasn't, and just to educate people if you know you're looking to do investing or property in the future. So my position is I work in a mortgage brokerage in a packager company, so we have direct access to underwriters and lenders. So for example, I can typically speak to directors of banks and their solicitors, and I've been doing that for 2 years now. It's not the best job in the world, but it is something I went into to educate myself. So working with the solicitors and directors, other brokers, you learn that you do learn so much about property and investing. Ultimately it comes down to being well prepared, doing your research. So yeah, with this video looking to basically give you an idea of what we plan to do, and in time show you pictures of how the events are unfolding. So basically we intended initially to sell our property, move into rented accommodation, and then buy a property at auction. We researched what sort of property we could get hold of, and we found that we were looking more and more up north to find the better deals. So what we thought we'd do is put the property on the market, sell the property, and then wait for property to come up and rent property. We found a buyer privately within 24 hours and received an offer on our property within 48 hours, so a really good turn of events. From there, as there was no estate agent involved on our end, we basically got in touch straight away with a solicitor. From my experience of working with solicitors, basically it's just about providing everything they need to complete the conveyancing. So it's very much a tick box exercise, and they just go back and forth with the buyer's solicitors. So with having a buyer ready to pay the full asking price that we asked for, that I forgot to add, you know, we were really happy with that, and we began looking for property to rent. We found a property that we were actually interested to buy, and what we'd like to do in this video is show you the sort of raw process of everything from meeting the agent to doing our own sort of research and making potential plans for the property, to working with solicitors. So we viewed the property. You have to be very open-minded when you do view properties that aren't a new build, for example. You do have to use your imagination. We like the property, like the size, like the land. I'll show you pictures. We put in an offer, and because of our initial intention to rent a property and buy a property at auction, we didn't keep our hopes too high. We found out that our offer was higher than the latest person who had been there, and the agent said that the buyers were in a better position than we were. So we monitored it for 24 hours and then basically pushed, kind of arm twisted the agent into proposing our offer to the sellers, and it did turn out that apparently the sellers who'd made the better offer, sorry, the initial offer and which had been accepted, had lied about their position. So our offer was accepted, and we didn't really tell everyone about it because we didn't want to jinx it, if you like. But basically, from my experience of working in the mortgage brokerage, it's just then about asking your solicitor to work to a target completion date. We anticipated that this might take 1 month, 1.5 months to go through, as we're more than happy to cooperate with solicitors. We're now almost 3 months down the line, but that's another conversation. So yeah, we're almost ready to leave. The boxes are packed. There's no Wi-Fi. It's driving my wife mad. So I'll take you through the pictures of the property and what we basically intend to do. So that this will include the land, the roof, surface water. That's something we found with a structural survey we had paid for as an extra. The windows will show you the inside, downstairs area of the property, the heating, upstairs, toilets, bedrooms, utility, and some potential plans that we will basically be liaising with the builders and plumbers and gas engineers on for the next few weeks. And hopefully with these plans being in place, it will just make the whole process of everyone being on the same page a lot easier, and everything will go through smoothly. Hopefully everything is actually complete before the big. So here's the property, single glazed, and last owner's been kind enough to leave the deer horns on the top. Might be a bit drafty, but we'll be alright. No, I'm joking. That is the shed. Looking at the land the property sits on, it's a nice big rear garden to the property. Yeah, something we're happy with. The garden, described as a mature garden, does need some work, and look forward to getting my hands dirty with that. We also have around the corner is a pond. Yeah, pond's not really big enough for me to go fishing in that. Moving around the property now, so looking at the roof, doesn't look like it's never been dumped, never been replaced before. It does look like it's in very good condition. On the estate agent viewing, that was obviously very encouraging. Later on in the process, we did carry out a structural survey on the property. So here I'll show you some pictures of the guttering and the parts of the roof. It was picked up that there is surface water drainage that possibly needs to be looked at. So the structural survey has given us his notes, and basically we'll be liaising with a specialist who can look at the surface water. I'll show you around the windows of the property, basically showing you the property's wind and water type. So we noticed that the render was cracked, and firstly you might think that that's a problem with the structure of the property. Again, structural survey gave us confidence on that, and I'll show you the water butts that basically the rainwater goes into. for whatever reason, the owner had an arrangement with his neighbour whereby his water could come into our property, into our garden through a gutter that came from their roof into our garden and into a water butt. I believe the last owner was a very keen gardener, must have been watering plants all day, every day basically. So we asked the estate agent if they had any experience with dealing with the water butts being removed. They hadn't. Later in the stage when we'd made an offer and we're liaising with our solicitors, that's when we formally asked them to stop that arrangement with the water butts. So before we've even completed, the water butts were removed and the guttering that came into our garden. I'll take you in the property now. Some film directors might be quite pleased because when they start dark movies these days, the film normally starts with the person who's in a situation where he's found himself in a situation that's against his wishes. They always start dark and it's raining. But anyway, going into the property, it is quite a dark place in this photo anyway. If you look at the kitchen, you'll notice the size, so I'll talk about that. Yeah, with the kitchen it's a bit too small for our liking basically. So with that dining room next door, we're looking to, we look to speak to our structural engineer, surveyor, sorry, in regards to the feasibility of that wall being knocked down, and that has been confirmed that it is feasible. So as these videos progress, you should see changes to the structure and the layout of the property change, which is quite exciting. I'll show you the lounge now. Wooden flooring in there, again something we were quite keen for the engineer and structural surveyor to comment on. You'll notice there's a fireplace. Obviously it's a unique feature for the property that people might love and some people might not like, and we'll let you know what we do with the fireplace. On the subject of heating, the boiler system in the property is very dated. It's not connected to gas mains, so that's something that we negotiated into our price basically, the offer, sorry, that we put in. If you don't like spiders, you might want to look away, and you'll see some of the quirky DIY in the property, and after that we'll go upstairs. The screen is getting brighter like it does for a film where it's going from moody to somebody trying, sort of being all positive about their life and changing, like a superhero or something. Anyway, the hall, you will notice, is very dark. It's very nicely featured. It's got a character. We do like that. Should we have a look in the bathroom? So bathroom obviously needs to be replaced, easy enough. With the ceiling, we were advised that there is possible asbestos material, so and that was from the surveyor that came out. So what we'll do is we'll liaise with a specialist regarding the ceiling and the removal of that. And now we'll have a look through into the downstairs toilet. So with this toilet, you'll notice there's some dark patches around the back of the toilet. So on our first visit to the property, we didn't really inspect that. we did ask for a second viewing where I was able to take more pictures, and so I could get a better idea of the layout and how we'd want things to be fixed in place basically. It does turn out that that dark stuff behind the toilet is not damp at all. It's basically the last owners tried to paint that area and used the wrong colour paint basically. So that's positive news. We'll have a look in the main bedroom. So you'll start to notice some of the quirky DIY with the electrics around the house. Owner must have had some sort of a basic knowledge on electrics. With the pointing of the floor basically, we understand it's very good to go around opening and closing all the doors, making sure that they shut properly to check for subsidence, for example, movement to the structure of the property. That door didn't close, so we were waiting in anticipation for the structural survey to comment on the any sort of structural movement on the property. Luckily, there's no movement, so that's good news. Looking in the second and third bedroom now, so there's a chimney breast coming through the second bedroom, and you may have seen that on the roof picture at the start. That's something that we will give some attention, as well as a boiler being in the cupboard. And with the third bedroom, again we understand it's very good to check that all the windows open and close when you're viewing a property as well. So that was actually established on the second viewing, going around checking the windows, checking everything flushes and flushes away basically. So that's the reason for the pointing in the photo there. And finally, the utility room. So there you go, and this is a layout of the utility room. So yeah, a second viewing was very beneficial, and in the interest of being proactive, we've over the last few months, while all the legals going through, basically been able to plan sort of work we'd like to do to the property and hand that over to builders, electricians, plumbers, tradesmen basically. So yeah, so in a nutshell, you've seen the land, the roof, been inside the property, outside, seen the bedrooms, kitchen. So 3-bedroom house, got a porch, got a extension to the back, benefits from a garage as well, nice garden front and back. We'll let you know. We'll let you know what we do with the property. So, sequence of events, had the viewing, made an offer, back and forth on the offer being accepted. Offer got accepted, we instruct the solicitors and get in touch with a bank for finance. Gave the solicitor a target completion date, and cooperated with everything that they were basically looking for. We had hiccups with the buyer of our place. We do own our place, and because we don't directly have contact with their solicitors, as you're not allowed, we don't know the other side. There's always two sides to every story. One thing I will tell you though is the target completion date we went for was missed. We were going back and forth with the seller's solicitors, pushed and pushed for an exchange date, and they were basically not happy with the management company of our block, but we basically liaised with our management company trying to provide them with everything they need. And we exchanged, and from there you're legally binded to buy our property, which is good. But what happened is our property, which is above a commercial premises, actually got crashed into in the middle of the night by somebody who was high. Yeah, it's quite a shocking accident to the property, and I believe that if we hadn't pushed our solicitors to push the buyer solicitors to exchange in time, then, and in good faith by the way, just knowing that a lot can go wrong with purchasing a property, I think this event probably could have made the sale fall through. However, luck was on our side, and we are again all packed, ready to go, so hopefully it's a smooth move, and we will be back with you with some further updates in the coming days and weeks. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you do have any questions or queries, please do message. Feel free, that's more than okay. If you would be interested to learn more or see more videos, please message below. And if you are interested to see any future projects in the coming months or years as well, it'd be great to hear from you as well.